Hello, my friends. All right, welcome back. We're going to be doing a different type of video today where we're going to be doing a build. Today, we're going to be covering Darth Huntred, my warship. Um, so, this is going to be the main ship here. Of course, if I can get inside. I am in creative mode. We are at a modded server. The mod we're primarily building on, this is the Better Boats mod, where the ship is a little bit bigger. Excuse me, Better Motor Boat mod, where the ship is a little bit bigger. You're able to go wider by a foundation. You're also able to build quite a few more structures on it. Other mods we're going to be using are going to be Bullet Sci-Fi skins. We're also going to be using Danny and Fernandez and Danny, and we're going to be using Sandy00. Love all three of them. I use a lot of their mods on a lot of my builds. Depending on what I'm building, depends on which ones I use. So today, without further ado, we're going to start building this ship. So, we're going to go ahead and start with our foundation. We're going to be lining things up, so you got dot 1 and dot 2. We're going to go ahead and take our foundation out. Oh, before I continue any further, I do not know if you're going to be able to build this on official. I haven't been on official in a long time, and I don't plan to get on it. I have my own server, and I'm very happy being by myself. I'm okay if people want to come on at some point and do some builds, have some fun, but for the most part, I like being left alone. So, we're going to go ahead and line up the edges. You can see on the foundation there's two parts that stick out a little far. I lined up the edges with the very edges of those dots. That's actually very important for the start of the build of the ship. Now that we have that lined up right, that center part there in the foundation, we want to line up with the center part on the... why do I feel like everything's moving in a way I don't like? Let's see, hold on. I'm going to line this back up. I know it's tedious, but it is crucial. Alright, there we go. Alright, now, right there is exactly where you want to line it up. Drop that foundation all the way down. Now we're going to go around. I don't want these. Now, when using the tech rifle, be very careful because it is very easy to destroy the ship. As it, even if you think it's not, it will lock onto it. Now we're going to go ahead and do a different foundation since we got the big ones. Let's see, we need the tech quarter and triangles. Dink, dink. We're just going to go ahead and go around the sides. It is important to use those. You'll see later on in the build why we need them. Alright, so we got that there. We have our front part. This is what the beginning of our ship is going to look like. So, from where we pilot our ship, we are going to go straight. We're going to go out by 2 ceilings. Go ahead and put this puppy in. And then over here, we are going to go across. Go up, as that is going to be the front part and founding part of the ship. We're going to go ahead and do our ceilings. It's okay, we'll just destroy you later. Now, I don't like holes, and so, yes, I am using an extra ceiling in there. I'm coming from old school, like ARK Ascended, not even ARK Survival. And so, for me, things were built a little bit different in the old days. And so, yeah. Alright, now we're going to destroy our excess because I'm sucking at this right now. Where are you? Alright, there it is. Again, be very careful. You don't want to click onto the ship. Usually I'll let it go up and down, make sure it's on there before I destroy stuff. However, usually when you're going away from the ship, it doesn't catch it. However, again, usually, it does still happen. It's ARK. If you play ARK, you know ARK will always be ARK. Alright, so now we got the front base of the ship, minus the little junk pieces. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and do the fronts. If you look at the back of the triangles, you'll notice instead of having to sit here and do all your clickies, it actually just automatically goes to where it needs to, which is nice. And so, little little tips of the trade. All right, now we're going to go ahead and do our triangles. Boom. All right, we're going to go ahead and do squares as we're going two foundations out, or two ceilings out in the back. One more. Yep. Perfect. All right. There's that. Right here, we're going to go ahead and do a triangle ceiling. That's just going to be an aesthetic later with the ship. All right. And then we have our triangles to go on the sides now. I didn't want to go out too wide with the ship. I mainly did this for my dock. Um, I guess if you wanted to, you can go out because it does. The ship does go out really wide. If you want a wide ship, personally, I don't. I don't think they look that great. This one does because it's a warship, but by itself, without the parts on there, it doesn't. Um, and so what we're going to do is, before we start putting the sides on and stuff, we're going to go ahead and just drop our walls down. Again, for me, I don't like things hanging. I like things to be very uniform. Um, Part of my disorder here, but we don't talk about Bruno. We're going to go down, go down, go ahead and go down again. Because once we put the walls up, it makes this part overly challenging. Now, I am going to go under the ship and tie everything in then as well. However, we are not doing that right now. We will be doing that later. All right, we're going to go ahead to this side. And that will get filled in. It is just not at this current moment. In there. All right. Here we go. Drop that down. That. Again, mess up. It's fine. Destroy it later. All right. There's that. All right. All right. So now that's built. That's done. Sides are pretty much done. Obviously, we have this side, so I'm going to show you why and how we're going to do that. So, we're going to go ahead and take our... Well, actually, you know what? Before we do that, I'm going to make it easy for everybody. Let's go ahead and build our turret tower, and then we can fill everything at the end. All right, so for this part here, we want to use the quarter pillars. If you want them to sit taller, you can. Personally, I don't like them up too tall over the ship. I use this mainly for search and destroy, killing, all that fun stuff. So we're going to go ahead and start with this point right here. We want one long one and one short one. So you're going to go two parts and then the one. And then on the other side, we're going to do the same since we have the pieces. Two parts, then the one. Now we're going to go ahead and go to the long ones. So we're going to start at the rear. Go one, go out, and then from here, we're also going to go to the side in the front part. So we'll go ahead and attach these in. All right, attach that in. Now that we have all those parts, we're going to go ahead and go to our quarter horizontals. Quarter horizontals. Now, again, you don't really need to change my thing here to ARK. No wonder why it's giving me a hard time. You don't necessarily need to put these pillars in here. I do, again, aesthetics. I like how it looks, but it is absolutely not a need. So if you find the ship's really laggy, there are things you can do to condense. I've done a lot of the condensing. Again, what you can condense on is the aesthetics, which I do go and do a lot. Now, another thing we're going to do is this. So, there are two ways to go about this. You can do two of these here and put a ladder. I have a dock, so for me, it's a little bit different because when I do go to land, park the ship, things like that. I usually pull up to the shore where I can get on and off pretty easy. Um, it's nice because you can't get onto the ship easily from the water, so I mean, if you fall off, that's on you. But um, I don't like people getting on my ships. Again, I'm on my own server. I don't really have anybody here that I need to worry about it. I'm just, like I mentioned before, I am an old school ARK player, and so I always think of that stuff. Eventually, I kind of like to have people on my server, but for now, we're going to leave it the way it is. So, um, all right, we're going to go one, two. I do play with some of my friends. My best friend, Nikki, you'll hopefully at some point hear from him. He got a new job. He works a really good job that he loves, and so, but it's demanding. So I don't, unfortunately, I don't get to see and spend time with him as much. But he is absolutely an amazing person. Um, should you guys ever get to meet him, I feel like you'll love him as much as I do, and of course, in a non-sexual way. All right, I'm just gonna keep going around here. There's that. Uh, yeah, me and him have been best friends since high school, and I'm going on 37 when this video is being made, so uh, it's been a long time, and I wouldn't change it for the world. All right. If you guys are still in high school, or if you're out of high school, whatever the case is, I hope you guys make friends like that, because they're very few and very far between. Um, and I am definitely very, very thankful for him. All right, let's see. There's that. There's that. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do this. All right, so this is where it gets a little tricky. Like I mentioned before, we do this part at the, not at the end, but after we get the walls and everywhere else, because this part is the part where it's frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. All right, because the ship keeps moving up and down. You got to do it from the side, which can make it a little bit challenging. All right, there's that. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and fill this in because it's gonna drive me nuts if I don't. Make sure that doesn't overhang. If it does, I'm gonna do this differently then. All right, we're gonna go in this way. Should I fill it in with them? No, can't. All right, I'll just do it. Square. It's fine. Okay. Now that we got that done, all right. So now we got our turret towers in. Oh, important part. Totally forgot this. So I snapped these in here because it is centered. You do want these to be centered in here because that's what the turrets need to sit on. All right, now for the fun part. This is where we're going to build our cabin. So you can use a wall in the front. I don't. The skin I'm using, if you don't have it, it's not going to look as awesome. I'm not going to lie. I particularly do this for this skin because I find it to be absolutely kick-ass. Um, it is the bullet skin. We're going to go ahead and go back by 4. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, I lost count. Um, it is the bullet skin, so you're able to do the windows like so. Um, I just like how it. I just like how it looks, um, and so that's why I do the 4 pieces in the front the way that I do, um, because of that exact reason. I wouldn't do that otherwise. I just don't think it looks all that great. Um, I guess you could use if you have. I guess if you have glass, glass might actually look okay now that I'm thinking about it. I never really toyed with it. So, all right, now from back here, we are going to go ahead and do a ramp. We are going to go ahead and do a wall up. All right, and we are going to be putting our walls up now. So, oh my. All right, there's that. That there's going to be our um, doorway, so we'll leave that open. Get it in a moment. For me, everything's about time, and so try to run things as efficient as I can. Um, and so there's that. Now we have our door frame to go in. One thing to note on this, I want you to realize, you probably already do, but in case you don't, these four walls, or single wall if you decide to do that, and this ramp with these two, those are your two snap points. Keep that in mind. You take one of those down, the whole time, or both of those down, this entire structure is gonna be gone. There's no two ways about it. It's stressful, it's frustrating, because then you gotta go back and build it again. Just like if you destroy the ship, which in making this video I have done 3 times already. But it's good, because then I'm actually a little more proficient at this part here for you. So, everything happens for a reason. Let's see. All right, we got the ramp down there. So now we have the ramps to get to our turret towers. We can get around on the top because you're gonna want to load it up, get in, get out. We're gonna have our turrets and the ballista turret in the front. But this is at least the laying down foundation for everything. One thing I am going to do now, because I always forget this, is I'm going to go ahead and put our water reservoir in. There is different mods for different reservoirs. I use this one for aesthetics. You'll notice that. A lot of stuff I use particularly for aesthetics. But that is going to give you water to the ship because you're always on the water. So it's always going to be full. Now, let's see. We'll start with the ballista. We'll start in the very front. Got a snap point there, which is nice. Use it. Rocket turrets, where are you? There we go. All right. These we don't have a snap point for, so we're going to go ahead and flip it around. This is where it becomes a little challenging because you are dealing with the moving ship. However, it's not as awful as you may think. So it's not always going to sit perfectly on here. I try to line it up with the pillars on the outside. We're going to turn the snapping off so it doesn't start messing up as we do our thing here. Alright, there's one. Again, just wait for the ship to, move, finish doing its little thing. 2. Boom. There we go. Oh, no, I faced that the wrong way. Of course I did. Alright, so you can see the red. Sometimes, let's see if I can get it to... Well, it's not going to click. Oh, there it is. So as you can see, I'm aiming at this piece here, but see how it says better boat in the bottom left corner in red? We don't want that. We want to make sure we are on the structure that we want, which is the tech turret, or the turret rocket, and we want to destroy it. I'll let the ship go up and down a few times just to make sure I have it right. Now, before we go ahead and make sure that's right. Okay. There we go. Try to capture that again. Right there. Look, it's facing the right way. Yay, we did it. All right. So, those are your turrets. There's that. Ships, nice. We're going to go ahead and put our heavy turrets. I like heavies. They're good. I don't leave the turrets on full time. I only put them on if I need to, like if let's say I'm gathering milk from an alpha wyvern, because I haven't yet gotten bison. That is on my list of things. I do, believe it or not, actually play the game. I just, sometimes I want to build, and I don't feel like doing much of anything else. Depends on how work goes. And so, of course, it's going to be difficult. Let's see, turret's I don't know why it's being so difficult, but it is. I was trying to line it up perfectly on there, but I don't think it's going to let me do that. Let's see. Not that it matters. I just want the base to be where I want it. doesn't look like that's going to be a thing though. So we'll just take it as it comes. Yep, that's fine. It sits the wrong way. It'll turn around itself. And so we'll just go ahead and do 2. Of course, that one faces the right way. Why can't you? Last time. I promise, last time. It's just killing my OCD. Alright, let's see. I'm just going to go ahead and snap it. Oh, look at that. It worked that time. Alright. Now up front, we're going to go ahead and put the tech turrets in. Tech turrets are really great for killing tame and/or wild animals. It's very rare. It's very rare that you're going to have big stuff attacking you. And thus, it's very rare that I use these turrets. But I do use them on occasion. Very much in particular when we're taking out alpha wyverns. Where are they? There. Try to get it as best I can here. Look at that. Alright, let's see. Alright. Go back a little bit more. Nope. Now, sometimes they play so nice, and then other times it's like, just kidding. I'll try doing this from a different angle. I swear, this game just doesn't like me today. Try to destroy the boat before it's almost completed. Alright. That one was going to let me turn it that time, and I totally didn't pay attention to that. Yeah. Alright, well, we're just not going to work today. That's fine. Alright, so we got that. We got that. We got all this. Alright, now, what I'm going to do is... I guess we can build the inside of the ship, and then I'll do all the skins for you. Because I'm going to be using multiple skins. Well, let's see. Like I mentioned, there are quite a few. This is going to be your bullet skins. I am doing this particularly because I need to see where my snap points are going to be, where I'm going to lay stuff down. So the bullet skins don't do structures by itself. It is a paid mod, but the bullet structures does do is it lets you do a free mod that they have for the structures, which you can use. Again, it's free. You don't have to use their structure one, but it doesn't do this. It doesn't do their like foundations, walls, ceilings. It does all the amenities like your forges and all that kind of stuff. Because for this, so when you're driving the ship, because it is a military ship, you are not going to see very well. You're not going to be able to see out from the inside the way I designed it. Because it is low, you are able to see over it, and I'll actually show you what I'm talking about here in just a moment. Because we're going to go ahead, we'll do these while it's on my mind. Alright, so, fun feature about these skins is you see there it says front tinted, back clear. Check this out. This is where it becomes awesome. Look at that. I just love that feature of the skins. Honestly, this is my most used. I just like that military look. This is where it kind of matters if you're, on the right. If your structures are built, inside, outside, it just makes it very easy to it just makes it very easy to do stuff like this. I'm just utilizing that while I can. All right, now we're gonna go to this. They have this ground wall skin, really cool, and you're gonna get to see how this all kind of fits in together. Yeah, that worked out perfect. All right, so we got that there. This also does the tinting. This one's a little bit different than the other ones. There it is. But the other one's only or 3 clicks in. This one's going to be 4. Whoops. Yep, there it is. All right, let's see. Like this. There's that. And last one. All right. What? Oh, I went too far on this. Oh no, I didn't do these yet. I'm special. I put the needs in special sometimes. There we go. So looks nice. You can kind of see out, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here, in first person, you're not able to see out. You would have to do all windows to see out. It makes it very hard. Oh, I want to show you third person. But when you go into third person, because the ship is so low, you can see perfectly fine. So that's where my design on the inside kind of changed to this because again, it's just nice to be able to line that up right about there. Make sure it doesn't interfere with coming out of boat mode. It doesn't. That was a perfect placement. All right, so remember I mentioned they have the free skins. So this is where you go for that. The bed's pretty cool. You have the 2 troughs. This pretty much does all of your like industrial forges and all that kind of stuff. So when you snap it on, you get this right here, which is so nice. Let's see. Did I make a? Nope. I've got to make something. All right. Let's see. A little steampunk. You can use small decor box. I'm not gonna lie. I struggle with it, so I don't want to sit here destroying stuff 18 billion times. Um, so typically, I'll use my steampunk. I should have mentioned this in the beginning. I forgot all about it. We'll use the barometer because it's small enough. It sounds shippy because you're gonna see it. You're gonna see it here in a moment. So about there, and then this one here go about the same. There, and then we're gonna go ahead and go over to. This is again from what's her name? Sandy. Using her skin here for the computer terminals, which do look really freaking cool, especially when you change them. Change them to this. Look at that. Looks so nice. Now it looks like your little captain's chair, you know? Again, this is just, what I put in here for mods. Might not necessarily be what you want to put in here for mods. Everybody's different. Everybody lays things out different. This is just my way of laying out the ship. And so, go back to bullet. Because the rest of this is all going to be bullet. So, for the most part. We're going to go do that. We're going to go ahead and actually do a second table attachment. No, that is not what I wanted you to do. In here, be very careful. As you can see, it's going up. It's going every which way. If I can't get a solid lock on the table, I don't go ahead and destroy it because I don't want to lose the ship. That's absolutely one of the most awful things to get destroyed is that. And so, yeah, there we go. There's the table. Now here, I'm going to go ahead. These are more of Sandy's things. But we're going to go ahead and put a cooker. again, I like her structures. Um, I like that more modern look to them. What I mainly like about these structures is the fact that um, they hold they hold a significant amount more. Say this. That's why. Um, they hold significantly more um, items in them than the others. Not only that, they are very compact, which is also nice. Um, you will notice with like snapping and stuff, sometimes they can be a little finicky. Um, it happens. Um, you'll see here in a moment because I'm gonna have some that this is the preserving bin. It's really nice. That's why I put two tables because I kind of need them. Um, we're gonna go ahead and put our tech generator in now before I forget. Let's see. On the table. There we go. I put this guy on the table just because it's just easier for me to access. Um, it is nice on Ascended being able to put those on. Oh, yeah, there we go. I was like, I have a piece of element somewhere. It is nice being able to put those on um, ships now because it does power the whole ship, which is great. All right, so now we got our cooking station. I'm gonna go ahead and bust out another table here. Uh, Center that. Boom. Table. All right, now. So we have our fabricator. The fabricator is the one that is always messed up. This one I will usually go ahead and enable snapping as it lays it down nice. I'm going to go ahead and throw it on the floor. Whoop. Get back out of it. I do them on both sides just because depending on what side of the ship you're in, depends on how you want to use it. Um, then we have your forge, your chem bench. Did I not build it? There it is. I'm just blind as a bat. Forge, I'm going to go ahead and stick here in the middle. Again, not everything's going to go on the table. Some stuff will, some stuff won't. It just depends on what it feels like. Um, this is the one thing about sandy skins, they can get a little finicky sometimes. Um, if you want them to get on there 100% and you want to fit them, the way to do it is to take the walls and the ceilings out, and you can do it that way. It is the best way to do it. Um, but personally, I don't care if they sit on the floor, and so that's where they're going. Um, then we have our grinder. See that lag and that little glitchiness starting to go. Let's see if I can get it. Maybe start somewhere. Yeah, it's not letting me put anything on the table this time. I was at least able to put. Nope. There we go. I was like, I was able to at least put something on the table last time. Alright. We'll go ahead and stick that there. I don't even know where that went. Probably on the top of the ship or under the ship or somewhere we don't. Alright, so that placement's not going to work. I might take the walls down actually in a second here if this keeps doing this little song and dance. See if I can, maybe I can put a smithy or something instead of the table. Let's see. Sure. On the table. Let's go ahead and put in a modern smithy. Put it back there. Is the front. Center. I use the crosshair. I don't know if you guys know that or not. The crosshair is always going to be center no matter which way you go, for the most part. And so, oh, look at that. The smithy actually fit. Nice. All right. Well, we got one grinder at least, and then you have your little crafting station. So we got our crafting station. We got this little area here. We're going to go ahead and put a regular fridge in. Let's see, right there you are. Go ahead and put a fridge in here because that puppy and you can. I do have tech replicators. I just could have put a tech replicator. I do have a tech replicator. Um, you know what? Let's see if it fits. We know the smithy fits. Let's see. Here, I'm gonna change the weather real quick. There we go. Sorry, I just realized it was raining out. Let's see there. Let's see if we can fit this puppy in. Yeah, no, that's okay. All right, smithy it is. All right. That up, nice, nice. All right, we got a crafting station. Not overly fancy. Doesn't need to be. Nice fridge. All right, another skin we're going to use is going to be for this cryo fridge. This is going to be your Danny and Lizzie, um, excuse me, Fernandez and Danny. Where is it? I love their skins. They're absolutely gorgeous. This looks so good. The animation's nice. Another fun feature that they have, that's probably on the backside, knowing my placement on this. On the bottom, there'll be a little. Oh, it's on the backside here. Let's see. I'll flip it around. Um, their mods are so pristine. There it is. You can kind of see it now. I actually like it that way. Perfect. So that little symbol there is going to change. Let's see. All right. So you can go into variants. There's all these letters. So if you have like specific dinos, whatever else, they're all alphabetized. They went out of the way to do that. You can go to like PvP. This is really good. This is actually active on official servers. I know for a fact because I remember reading it. Utilities, you got BBs and imprinting, and you just have so many different things you can put in here. And then that picture will change to whatever it is that you have. Absolutely wonderful design. They make it super easy. I actually really they're my favorite mods. They only have two. They have a third one that's paid. It's like a Japanese style kind of structures. They're pretty cool. It's just not stuff that I'm particularly good at building. But I particularly like. I want to say I don't care for it. It's not that. It's just that I love Japanese culture. Actually, Japanese culture and style is one of my favorites. I just don't have a knack for that type of build, I guess you could say. All right, so that's done. You can see the outside here. It looks nice. We're going to go ahead and fill that in and fill that in. I did mention we were going to do under the ship, and so here we go. So this is what it looks like underneath right now. So essentially, we're going to copy what we did up top. Again, if you don't want to do this, it will save you lag time. It will save you lag time on your ship. I can't, again, OCD. All right, we got that there. We're going to do that. I'm going to do this. This guy. Oh, okay. So that's the bottom filled in there. And then we're going to have this. And as you can see, we're really just copying whatever foundations we had there. But that's literally all we're doing here. And again, this is for me aesthetics. You jump off the ship, you see underneath it. It's also very useful in the PvP realm, just because you won't have um, you won't have people just able to get under your foundations, under your ship, be able to destroy just one ceiling to get in, or whatever the case is. They'll have to get through an extra layer. It does make it laggy, yes, but again, you build it for what you want. I'm going to go ahead and cover the bottom there because I don't want that gap either. All right, so there's the underbelly of the ship completely covered, which you can see in the other ship is also the same. We're going to go ahead and uh, do structure skins. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little doodad. Well, no, actually, I'm not, because it's going to take off everything I just did. All right. I have it's an automatic skinner. Um, it's a really nice feature, especially when you have a lot of structures, a lot of base, a lot of everything. So um, I am going to take off skins in places where just I just want to get this all under here done. I'll go back to it. Back to the foundations. Key part. And like I said, this is it gives it that military kind of style that I just absolutely love. So bullet structures. This guy, I wish he would do more. Um, he has the most, and I know when Fernandez, I haven't, like I said, I haven't played the Japanese one yet, but I would almost, knowing how well their skins and everything work, I would put money on they're probably just as good as these guys to use. Um, so also getting rid of this lag with the skins um, is also, or this glitching out with the skins can also be very useful for getting rid of the glitchiness with the ship as well. Um, so that was the All right, we're gonna leave that there. Again, I know it's a little bit tedious, but it's worth it. I forgot about my automatic skin thing. I could have done that in the beginning, and then all I would have had to do is just fix what uh, six walls, and then I wouldn't have had to do all this. But that's okay. That is a oh, hey, look what I found. It went all the way out here. All right, let's see if it'll let me destroy it. Grinder. Yep. All right. I was like, what's that blue thing? I thought I destroyed something, but nope. It placed it all the way out here. Gotta love ARK. Alright, that's done there. Go ahead and do our pillars and such back here. That should be everything there. Yep, that's everything there. I missed all of this. Okay, probably missed it on the other side too. Let's see. Did I get it back? Nope. Alright, that way. And this is where that automatic skinner kind of makes things easy. Um, I didn't. I honestly didn't do this part when because I used the automatic skinner. So let's see. There are things to keep up here, and there are things to not keep up here. So for skins. You know what I might do, just because it's going to make this. Well, that's fine. That's what happened to this. Ask me what it was. I'll say it's something like that. Yep. Okay. That was gonna be. All right. So that is the ship. Oh, we forgot. I forgot something. Again, aesthetics. Gotta love the aesthetics. All right. There we go. There's that. There's this last part here. And that is the ship. So that is what its final product will look like. Um, on the ship here, I was able to do it with those. Obviously, a little different when I did it over there. Everything kind of does its own thing, and so it is what it is. Um, I guess if you really wanted to, you could just do all triangle structures out. It looks like that's what I did in the other one, but it's really close to the same. But anyways, that is Darth Huntred in its purest form. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. I enjoy doing this with you. As always, enjoy the rest of your day and be safe out there.